Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Other Worlds Wednesday on Gaming with ADHD. Today I wanted to talk about the 5 benefits to physical RPG books. Now, recently there has been a bit of an uproar around Dungeons and Dragons for a new player race that was included in the Spelljammer supplement. Because of the outcry, Wizards of the Coast came out and apologized to players. Now, this video isn't about who's right, who's wrong. There are plenty of people that are already debating that subject, and that's not what I want to get into here, because what concerned me more was the actions that they took next. They came out and they deleted the race from the digital copies of the book in D&D Beyond, and they also promised that any future printings of the book would no longer include that race. So why does this bother me? First, I firmly believe that the writer did not mean to offend anyone when writing this. I don't think they meant to do it in any way, and I don't know who they are, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I truly believe that they were trying to write something new, interesting, and technically not even new, because it was a race from Spelljammer, 30, 40 years ago. Second, RPGs, just like any other writing, are art, and the artist and the publisher should stand by their work. Every book is going to go through multiple editing passes, a variety of play tests, and other reviews of the book before it ever goes to print. And if you believe in your product, you need to stand by it. You shouldn't let others dictate to you what kind of art you produce. Finally, if a publisher can and is willing to delete content, what else are they willing to do? Will they revise, remove, or rewrite without telling people? Will they do it, before telling anyone? But after they've already taken your money. And honestly, I think that is a big problem, because when you've paid for a product and then somebody comes in and changes that product on you, I think that is a very big problem. So with that said, here are 5 things that I think make physical RPG books something that players should be going back to. So first off, print doesn't change. All right. While yes, mistakes occur in print, I do think that it should be on the publisher to be better at their editing and their play testing. Okay. Before the book gets to print, they should be doing more to edit and find the mistakes. I'm not saying they don't, but there are plenty of times where rule books come out and they have errors in either grammar or the points costs are wrong or whatever it is. And I honestly think that they need to spend more time editing, play testing, checking, doing whatever reviews they need to make sure that those things get caught. Now, I do understand that errata exists. I've dealt with errata almost my entire gaming life, at least, as long as, the internet has been around. And so, I don't want to take errata away. I mean, obviously, if there are mistakes in how the rules are presented, they should be able to do that. But if any book needs more than 2 pages worth of errata, I think that's a problem. I think that is a failure on the side of the developer. Now, why do I say 2 pages? Basically, that's 1 piece of paper, double-sided, print and fit all of the errata. You can fit 1 standard piece of paper inside the book, and it's not going to affect the binding. It's not going to affect the size, and you can have all of the changes right here. So I think that's the first thing. Second thing is license properties change hands. Take, for instance, Mutant Chronicles. I've dealt with Siege of the Citadel, the board game, here a lot. I've wanted to go into covering the role-playing game, but Modifius recently let the license for that game go. So all of my copies for Mutant Chronicles are digital. I got them through DriveThruRPG. So what happens when the license is done and they're removed from DriveThruRPG? I've tried to find out. One answer I got was saying that the digital copies would be removed, but I have seen in the past where if you have a digital copy through DriveThruRPG, even after it's been removed, you can still download it. Is that going to be the case here? I don't know. I don't have a solid answer on that. And, if I had physical copies of all of the books, then, it wouldn't be an issue. I have my books. Now, that goes into the third point, because what you're probably going to say is, oh, well, why don't you go and just download all of the files and upload them to cloud storage or put them on a removable hard drive? Problem is, digital storage isn't any kind of a guarantee. If you're using cloud storage, you could have a payment failure. Your card expired or it got stolen or whatever it is, and you forgot to go and update it. And within 15 to 30 days, I guarantee you that cloud storage company is going to delete your content. Okay. I say that because that's the industry I work in for my day job. And, the number of times that I have talked to a customer where they're like, no, I have to have this data. It is mission critical. If I don't have it, I'm going out of business. And all I can tell them is, I'm sorry, it was deleted 3 months ago. We no longer have it. Has happened multiple times. And so then you're probably thinking, well, physical storage, on your hard drive, a flash drive, whatever it is. I've had multiple flash drives that stop working. I have a lot of PDFs on a removable hard drive right now that died. Something happened to the file system, and I can't access it. And until I can get in and try and recover data off of it, which isn't even a guarantee, anything on there is gone. Scripts from my videos, 3D printer files, all sorts of things. And these were all legally purchased, stored externally, and I may never have access to them again. So digital storage is not a guarantee, but a physical book, this isn't going anywhere. Next thing, like I just said, physical book isn't going anywhere. You always have access to what you paid for. This book is never going anywhere. In case you're wondering, if you can't see, this is Shadowcast. It's a new book from Shadowrun. Right now, it's not even available digitally. But even then, if Catalyst Game Labs ever loses the license to Shadowrun, theoretically, I could lose all of my digital copies as well. So being able to have that physical book and always have what I paid for is important. Another issue to think about as far as that is concerned, and actually going back to Catalyst Game Labs, I have all of the BattleTech core rulebooks. One of them being strategic operations. And at some point, they decided that they wanted to split all of the core rulebooks, all of the operations books, into 2 books each. Well, when they did that, they took half of the content out of strategic operations. So digitally, I only have half of the book that I originally received. So, why is that the case? I'm not entitled to any kind of a refund. They're just saying, nope, this is the new version of the book. This is the one you get. And so I only have half of a book. Number one, that's not fair. Number two, it's a form of stealing. The company, I paid for something from the company and they took half of it back. and didn't do any kind of compensation. And I say that because I also have 2 physical copies of the book. So I actually still have the content, but it's in the physical books. So if I didn't have those physical books, even though I had the content originally in the digital format, I'd never have it again. So that's another thing. Again, what can they take away from us, on a digital book that we've already paid for? So finally, with all of that said, physical books are yours to do with as you please. I can loan this book to a friend, let him use it to make his new character for a campaign we're going to run. I can say, you know what? Shadowrun's no longer my thing, and I can take it down to the local library, and I can donate my Shadowrun collection to them, so that maybe somebody else will find out about Shadowrun. I can do anything that I want. I can eat the book with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. I don't know. Take my pick. But regardless, it's up to you what you do with your physical books. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to say that digital copies are bad. I am just saying that there are physical limitations. I have my digital copies. Here's my iPad that, I like being able to have, 50, or, well, in this case, it's 10. I like being able to have 10 different books with me, and all it costs is the weight of an iPad, whereas 10 physical books is going to be much harder to move around. So I admit there is convenience. The fact that you can search, do all sorts of things with digital that you can't do with physical books. I'm not saying that they should be gotten rid of. In fact, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm a big fan of Drive-Thru RPG. I think their app, both on devices and on desktop, are fantastic. They are very easy to use, very convenient, but again, it's still a digital copy, so what are you going to lose out on? So, personally, I am going to be trying to get all of my role-playing games in a physical format. I will still be buying digital, but I want to make sure that I have the products I paid for. It's also, if you think about it, for the publishers, while it would be nice if they included digital copies with the physical books, it's only going to help them, if I buy both as well. So I'm probably going to be a little bit more selective in the things that I get, but I'll still use digital to try something out, see if there's something new that I like, but I think that more publishers need to be willing to offer and work with physical copies to make them better, instead of the big shift towards digital books only. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and also make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that, I cover all sorts of tabletop content, from board games, card games, miniatures, role-playing games, everything. So, if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the future content. But otherwise, I thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.